Fame reverb, and it will totally add another dimension to your playing. Playing without reverb live, or even when you're jamming, it's dull. So this is a great thing to have.
Do you have it on?
I don't know, not with this. This amp has onboard reverb, so I use the reverb on here, except as I was demonstrating my clean tone, I won't put it on.
Well, let's hear it.
Spacious effect to it. Another very important pedal is the delay pedal. Boss DD3, can't go wrong. The Vegh Octopus is another fantastic delay pedal. I mean, a lot of guitar players use it. This one, I think it's the most versatile, has the most repeats on it, it's got the most settings. And what this does is it creates a little slap back every time you play, like an echo. So if I were to hit a chord, you would hear it continue and you'd hear the chord go on. I don't have it running right now though, but this is another great and spacious effect that you can add.
What he's talking about there is an artist like Brian Setzer, the Stray Cats, you know, boom, ba-dum, 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 and that's very effective with something like that.
Or for like people like Eric Johnson, they have their tones just drenched with reverb and delay, and they go through all these crazy runs, and it makes the guitar sound. Oh, hey. It makes the guitar sound really spacious and meaty. It's important to have. If you have an amp that doesn't have an overdrive channel, you can get an overdrive pedal. You can go all out and get like a crazy Wagner overdrive pedal with all these functions on it. I like these ones because they have an onboard EQ. So EQ with the bass, middle, and treble. I can also modify my tone once again just to change up the flavor. Or if you do have an amp with overdrive, there's another pedal I have here. It's called a pork loin, and it adds a really thick sound to it. Take a listen. Set it up totally, but it really adds a weight to the notes, and when you're playing a lead, it thickens it right up. I recommend this pedal.
The transparent overdrive.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Actually, I'm looking at that. So
I would get it. It's totally worth it.
Okay, this actually, yes, this is a great point. It's a transparent overdrive, so it has a your signal of your guitar goes into this. And it has two signals. It has a clean signal and then an overdrive signal. And it's separate. You'll be able to hear it. Watch. And so you can hear in the background there's an overdrive that's happening. I have the blend knob actually changed, so this is different from how you would get it in the box. I think for you might prefer like the way the factory settings are. I turned down the blend knob because I like it more for its preamp qualities. And what I mean by that is if your guitar is going just straight into an amplifier, it's gonna sound great. But when you add like a pedal or something that boosts it up, the amp will overdrive easier and it sounds much richer. That's why I like that pedal. Okay. So once again, the most important, if you're gonna start building a pedal board, get a tuner, and because it makes life a whole lot easier. Instead of getting a handheld tuner or a clip-on tuner, buy one of those. It's so helpful.
Put your foot down, right?
There you go. So
that was a joke.
Yeah. Amp-wise, if you guys are interested in like my sound live, I don't have my rig here, but I blend a Marshall JVM with a Mesa Mark V. I like Mesa amps, but I find that they're very punchy, and they have so much high end. And where the Marshalls, they have a really deep and bass and mid-range rich tone, but they lack that high-end punch. So when I put the two together, I find it does this really neat push and pull effect with the mids, and it sounds really full. And also, if one amp fails, I have another one to keep going with. That being said, it gets quite difficult trying to get all the tones set with the amps, because there's so many channels, there's so many things you can do with the EQ. But I want to talk just one more little bit about scales and whatnot, just so everyone can remember. So remember, 1, 4, 5, you count whatever the key is, that's your root. So key of A, B, C, D. D is your 4, 5 is your 5th. You can either play the A minor, or you can move that whole shape down 3 frets and play that still over the A dominant 7 chord. So it's very important to know. That's what really got my playing going, was learning how to jam blues. I found that's the best way to do things. Am I out of time?
We're getting close. One thing
I can play somewhere.
Covered quite a few. Yeah, we covered quite a few things. String gauge. What is your preference? Maybe people would like to know.
I prefer 10 gauge strings. You can get them here. I prefer Ernie Ball. I also like the Roto Sounds, a yellow package. It comes with an extra high E string. So if you're restringing and then you find that you just screwed it up, there's an extra one in there. Or if you break one, you don't have to take one from another pack, and it's already there. So those are nice. I recommend 10 gauge. If you're just starting out and you find that your hands are still developing, go with 9s. However, when you progress and you start picking more complex riffs and stuff, like you'll find that stuff like this. It'll start to become difficult on 9s because the string's flopping around too much because it's too thin. But 10s is usually what I use. However, I have a Strat where I play Little Wing, and it has 11s on it, but it's tuned down a half step. And I like the extra thick gauge because it adds to the, it'll make the guitar sound brighter and louder. And are there any questions out there? Like
questions? We have some time for a couple questions. Where's Bill at? Bill here? Still? Bill should be here. I'm gonna have to find him. Is he over on the other side there?
There, yeah.
Okay, I'll nail him before. For this gentleman won a prize here. Any questions from the audience before we?
The sequence of pedals in a pedal change. Is there one preference to that, or?
Okay, pedals are depends on which ones you get. I find that if you come home with a big box full of pedals and you say I'm going to put this thing together, it's all a matter of finding which ones behave, as I want to say, because like if I were to plug the wah pedal after the volume pedal, it'll start to do this really weird hum thing, and it sounds very strange. But typically, what you're gonna want to do is I go buffer, because you want to put your guitar signal back to its full potential before it hits the amplifier.